Good evening, and thank you all for joining us. I'm Jennifer Amato, and I will be your moderator for this evening's webinar. All participants' phones are now muted. You may use the chat feature to ask a question throughout the webinar. We will begin the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Today's featured speakers are Enrique Villa-Biaggi and Laura Denbo. Enrique graduated with a Bachelor of Science from the College of Engineering in 1994 and a Master's of Engineering in 1995. Enrique has served in many volunteer roles at the university and is currently serving in his first year as Cornell University Council Chair. Laura is the Senior Director of the Office of Volunteer Programs in Alumni Affairs and Development. Among many other things, Laura serves as the staff liaison for Cornell University Council. And I'm going to turn our meeting over to Enrique. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, everybody, for joining in today. I appreciate
Hi, everybody. This is Tina. I think we lost Enrique for a second. So just give us a chance to see if we can get him back online.
Hello?
Enrique?
I'm here.
There you go. Okay, go. We lost you for a second.
All right. Well, again, first of all, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today in the evening. And first of all, congratulate you and welcome you to Cornell University Council. For those of you who have just been elected, congratulations on being part of this important group for the university. And for those of you who have been reappointed, we thank you for rejoining our efforts in helping our university and our mission. Just to give you a quick update, members are nominated based on service to Cornell, their profession, and or their community. This year we had 327 nominations and 158 candidates were invited to council. You were elected because of your strong leadership and service to Cornell, whether it be in your community or in your profession. Our real benefit of being involved with council is just to have broader knowledge, experience, and access to all that is Cornell through key events like TCAM, events in your specific region and area, and just being able to disseminate the Cornell message around your neighborhoods and areas. Specifically at TCAM, you'll know, and for those of you who have gone to TCAM before, you'll be able to hear from and also meet academic deans, administrators, and trustees, people that actually are deep into what the university is doing on a day-to-day basis, and you'll be able to learn about what's going on with the university on a direct level. And you'll also participate in the ambassador program and get the inside scoop from university communications and all that's happening, the initiatives and updates at Cornell. So if we move to the next slide, which basically just summarizes what our mission at Council is, and I'll just read it real quick. As leaders in service to Cornell, we want to make a difference for the entire Cornell community by serving as catalytic agents that inspire, inform, engage, and propel broad recognition of Cornell as one of the top 10 universities of the world. Fiscal year 18 is all about gearing up for Cornell's future under our new president, Martha Pollack, and I know Simon was mentioning reunion, so I know that many of you probably met her over the weekend. We just had a really successful fundraising campaign, and that's behind us now, and we're getting ready to have that official launch of Cornell Tech on Roosevelt Island. So it's time to model what Cornell values and needs from its volunteers, and I think we went through one more slide, so if we can come back real quick before we jump into Laura. Thank you. So we want to make sure that we do four things basically for as council members. One is attending TCAM. 2 is making an annual gift. 3 is sharing the university message via an update. And 4 is submitting a nomination. And we will go through each of those in a couple of minutes. I do want to talk a little bit about the fact that submitting a nomination in years past meant submitting a nomination for council. And the reality is that Cornell needs CUC members and council members to identify Cornell's future volunteer level at all talent at all levels, and not just councils. So we want to feed our communities with our best and brightest talent, and we need council members to help us identify them. And as a result, our expectation of nominating somebody from CUC Council now has been expanded to actually nominate anyone to any community within CU Volunteers. So that's an expansion of what we used to be able to have, just to make sure that people understand that maybe people might not be the right fit for council, but they might be a great fit for another volunteer organization. So we want to make sure that we're opening that up to everything that CU Volunteer has to offer. So I'll turn it over to Laura now. That's going to talk a little bit. Who's going to talk a little bit about the administration at Cornell. Laura.
Thanks so much, Enrique. And again, I extend my welcome and thanks for your continued support of Cornell. And it is our hope that from this presentation, if you haven't already indicated interest in becoming a member of council, that your questions will be answered and that you will be eager to join this impressive group of alums, parents, and friends who love Cornell deeply. The purpose of this slide is to let you know what the relationship of council is with our senior leadership. I'm delighted to say that we have all of our pictures filled, and just thrilled that Martha Pollack will be leading the university forward. She came on board in mid-April, I think April 17th to be exact. And as Simon and others were noting, she was on campus this past weekend for reunion, and all indications suggest that she was deeply impressed, not only by the programming, but the alums who came and the pride that they showed for your alma mater. Fred Van Sickle is our Vice President of Alumni Affairs and Development. He's been at Cornell for a little over a year and a half. He came from Columbia and is just doing some really important things as we gear up to help Martha be successful at Cornell. Jim is my boss, and many of you know Jim. Jim has been a dedicated alum to this institution for years, and we benefit greatly from his leadership and commitment to Cornell. I've been here for 7 years, and it's been a real honor to work with Cornell University Council since I came on board. And I have the honor of working with Enrique and the administrative board. And for those of you who are new to council, the administrative board is the leadership group for University Council. And it consists of a chair, and we have 3 vice chairs, and I'm delighted to share their names with you. Bob Burstein, class of 97, Nathan Connell, class of 01, and Lisa Kremer-Ullman, class of 81. In addition, we have elected members, and we'll talk a little bit more about what it means to be an elective member of the administrative board. And we have several committees that help ensure that the work of the board reflects the needs of the university effectively. In addition, you are members at large. There are 400 of you, and we try to bring a class of a little over 100 in each year. And then once you have reached the age of 65 and have completed 3 terms, you can become a life member. And one of the things that we like to share, and I'm going to move over to the next slide, which will happen shortly. There you go, thank you, is that membership on council is for 4 years. Some of you are new to council, some of you are returning. But at the end of 4 years, you participate in a mandatory 2-year hiatus from council. We're hopeful that you will continue to do the activities that you do with Cornell through various roles. And you will continue to receive communications from us so that you stay informed. So that when it's time for you to be re-upped or considered for re-up, that you have a better sense of the direction of council. And as you can see from this slide, what we want to say is that council membership is comprised of individuals who are leaders in service to Cornell. And you represent all that Cornell tries to do throughout the globe through volunteering. And it's a nice reflection of those individuals through this organization. So with that, I am now going to turn it back to Enrique, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the expectations.
Excellent. Thank you, Laura. So going back to what we spoke about initially, so we want to make sure that most importantly, you serve as ambassadors to Cornell. That's really our most important goal, that you're able to share the Cornell message out to your respective communities. We want to make sure that you assist trustee council annual meetings every year. So come in and join in and learn about everything that Cornell is doing. We want to make sure that you make a gift to the university. You're able to contribute financially to the university at a level of your comfort. Nominate somebody for any volunteer role at Cornell. Continue your leadership and volunteering, as Laura was saying, in other Cornell activities, maybe they local or regional in your area, or whether it's with regards to your profession or your individual college, and also that you vote in the alumni elected trustee elections. You know that every year that we nominate 2 members of the alumni group to serve as trustees, and it's very important for you to be able to vote in these elections so that you can bring in 2 new members of the alumni group into the Board of Trustees. Next slide. So how are we doing so far? We've established these what we call university check-ins to kind of gauge how we're doing in terms of meeting those expectations. And this is the past 6 years for the members at large, which is the group of 400 alumni that are part of council. And as you can see, we've set up some very aggressive goals for ambassador updates. We've been around the 450 level in terms of how many updates we want to be able to give. We've actually given 463 so far this year. So we're about that 30% of all members giving updates, and we want to make sure that that number keeps going up. We'll show you how to do it. It's a very simple procedure to actually log in when you do an ambassador update, and we're making it simpler every year. So we want to make sure that whenever you have a conversation regarding Cornell that we know about it. So it's very important to us. Attending TCAM, we're at the 56-57% level of members at large. And again, we want to stress the importance of actually attending TCAM, joining us and learning about everything that's going on in Cornell. Plus I would have to say it's a very, very fun weekend this year. We'll talk a little bit more about it in a couple of slides, but this year we're combining it with homecoming, so it should be great. Submitting a nomination, again, I think these numbers were lower in years past because they had to be a nomination for council, and we're looking at an increase this year of 24%, mainly because people are able now to nominate people that they might not feel council might be the right fit for them, but there might be other organizations within CU Volunteer that might be the right fit. So I think this number is going to be going up every year going forward. And then the important part about giving, we have about 80% so far coming in for this year as of June 12th. We're approaching the 90% every year, and we're very happy about it. Just to let you know, the admin board goes out to about 100% every year. So we've been doing that for the past 5 years. The admin board is the leadership group that covers council. So we're very excited about that. And I think we're looking at some numbers that are moving in the right direction. We just need to keep them moving forward. So the expectation this year is that we can hopefully get to 100% for fiscal year 18 in terms of giving as well. So if we can go to the next slide. All right, so what you'll be receiving, and returning members might remember some of these, and new members will look at it. We're actually going to be sending you specifically how you are doing with regards to your individual check-ins, and we'll do this twice a year, once in December and then again in early June. And basically, it'll give you a summary of how you're meeting the 4 expectations that we have provided for every council member. You'll receive it twice a year, as I mentioned, and it'll basically tell you how you're doing, whether you've already submitted a gift, whether you attended TCAM, whether you have gave an ambassador talk. And we'll use these check-ins to evaluate any opportunities for you to renew your position or become a lifetime member in the future. So it's very important that we're able to adhere by these standards. They're very simple, and they give us an idea of actually, how you're doing and how engaged you are with regards to council and Cornell. So if we move to the next slide, and we'll be talking then a little bit more about what it means to become an ambassador for Cornell. Basically, we want to make sure that you can communicate in a timely and strategic manner information about Cornell to the greater community, and also then be able to bring feedback and information to us about current trends that the university might be needing to take a look at. As ambassadors, you learn about the university message maybe through TCAM, monthly email updates, Cornell.edu, social media, as you now know. We want to make sure that you're able to share that message both formally and informally and through social media, and then report back to us with comments and feedbacks about each update. We're asking each of you to at least give one university update, whether it be formally, informally, or through social media. And again, we'll go through that right now. We want to make sure that you're also able to identify opportunities. So we want people to take the initiative with other Cornellians and audiences to identify where are opportunities for council to be able to talk to groups, be able to learn about things that are going on, and be able to better serve the university. So it's very important. And again, the report, you'll see the link below, and we'll send that, if I'm not mistaken, we'll be sending that link directly to you via email to have for you to record your ambassador talks. And I'll give you an example. Whenever we have our freshman send-offs here in Puerto Rico, I give a quick update to all the people that are there, and I have parents, I have alumni, I have new incoming freshmen, and I have existing students. So we'll talk about what's going on at Cornell, and then I'll just go ahead, get into the website, and let them know that I had 50 people at the activity. I gave an informal talk, and my name and my email are Enrique Vila, and my email is ejv2@cornell.edu. That's it. You send it out. The report is done. It could be an email that you send out to your different constituents in your area, and it just provides us a way of knowing what impact we're having in different areas around the world. So that's very important for us. President Skorton in the year 2010 asked Cornell and the council to be his eyes and ears and help him spread the message about Cornell, since he obviously wasn't unable to attend all Cornell events. We don't expect that this will change with the new president under President Pollack. So I think it's very important that we continue building on these ambassador talks and providing information for the greater Cornell community. So if we move to the new slide, and I want to talk a little bit about resources and tools for ambassadors. There's three ways that council members can learn crucial information about what Cornell needs you to share. One, obviously, we go back to TCAM. It's a very important weekend. It's great, and there's a lot of information that gets shared with us on a timely manner and probably on a first time basis. So it's very important for us to know what's going on. You'll start receiving monthly emails from Joel Molina, who's the Vice President of University Communications, and they're a great summary of what's going on at Cornell at that specific month. We get information about faculty. We get quotes and where in the press and what shows or TV shows we have Cornell alumni being showcased and what they do. It's very important, and it gives us a lot of talking points for us to be able to then present information out to our constituents. And then we'll also be getting monthly and quarterly from the Hill updates by senior university administrators. And then the way to share this information is obviously through the survey, and then also Cornell Social. And Cornell Social is a new platform on social media that you'll also be able to get information on how to join in. But basically, Cornell Social connects all your different social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, I think LinkedIn as well. And every time that Cornell sends you an email, that if you're signed up for Cornell Social, it'll have a little button that says share on Cornell Social. By pressing that button, automatically you'll be able to disseminate that specific Cornell University message through all your social network platforms. So it's a very easy way to actually send out messages to everybody in your groups and spread out the Cornell message. So next slide, please. So philanthropic expectations. Obviously, we know that every council member should be able to give an annual gift to Cornell at a level of individual comfort. Again, here's my pitch, but make your gift today at www.alumni.cornell.edu/give. We want to make sure that you understand the importance of giving back to Cornell in a financial manner is to us. Just to let you know an idea, we've been talking about how we're at the low 80s, low 90s actually, low 90s for the admin board, and having the admin board give 100%. We want to keep increasing this number, and it would be fantastic for us to be able this year to say that we have a goal for fiscal year 18 of 100% participation for the council members. So let's make sure that we give our gifts. Let's try and remember that we're ambassadors and we have to send a message. So I would appreciate if everybody start July 1st, as soon as possible, was able to give their gift. I think that's very important to send a message out to say, hey, I already gave. I want to encourage other people to give as well. So let's try and do that. I think it would be a great thing for Cornell at a level that's in your comfort. So I'll turn it over back to Laura for some information on nominations.
Great. Thank you so much, Enrique. If I can just offer a little more information about the Ambassador Initiative. And it was something that we recently introduced. And as Enrique said, it was in response to President Skorton's request that council members, serve as ambassadors on behalf of the institution. And, all of you serve as ambassadors in your varying volunteer roles, but to kind of make this role a little different, when Enrique acknowledged the Joel Molina email, that's only one of 2 emails that Joel's office sends out to volunteer groups. The other volunteer group is the Board of Trustees, because feedback that we've heard from our alumni base is that there are so many things going on at Cornell, it's really hard to know what to communicate. And so Joel has invested staff time to give us relevant points to share with the community, not only in terms of sharing, but learning from alums on how, that message is responding and resonating within your backyard, so to speak. So it's really important for Joel's office to have our feedback and our support so that we can make sure that the message resonates as we move forward. Going to nominating, as Enrique said, this is absolutely crucial for us. As many of you know, we've ended a campaign, and we're preparing for where President Pollock wants to take Cornell. And we know that successful initiatives that involve, all of us to realize Cornell's potential depend on a really strong alumni volunteer base. It's one of the unique secret weapons of Cornell's success. And I've had the honor of working at other institutions, and I truly believe that Cornell's ability to realize its potential is because of alumni involvement. And there's no better way to engage more alums than through peer-to-peer involvement. And so this has become a big priority for the university. We really need you to help us identify people who want to get involved. We've learned that some of our best volunteers didn't raise their hand. They were asked to raise their hand by a peer, and because of that, they chose to do so. So please know that as we go into fiscal year 18, we're going to want you to help us identify people who you feel would benefit from this experience, and more importantly, or just as importantly, Cornell will benefit from their involvement. What we've tried to do is make it very easy through CU Volunteer. It is our one-stop shopping for volunteer opportunities. We will be spending time with you in July to show you how easy it is to nominate not only for council, but also to nominate for other positions. And we thank you in advance for your support. The nomination period for council will begin July 1. And it will end October 31st. For those of you who are new to council, we've learned from previous years that it's important for you to participate in TCAM to understand what TCAM is like and who you feel might benefit from that experience, which is why we extend that nomination period until then. But please know that we stand ready to help you with that nomination process. And when you go in and do a nomination, it really is about sharing stories with us so that we can make sure that good fits emerge. I will tell you that there is a committee of the administrative board that reviews and vets all nominations, and these nominations are determined by your peers. Staff do not play a role in determining who becomes a member of council, and we feel that that really creates, I think, a specialness to this group, and wanted to share that with you. Now we get to talk about Trustee Council annual meeting. And I'm going to spend a little time talking about it. For those of you who are returning, you kind of know what this is. For those of you who are new, it is the annual event that brings together the Board of Trustees and Cornell University Council. All university leaders stay on campus or return to campus to participate in several days of discussion about the themes that Cornell will be embracing in the year to come and the progress that it's made on themes that it has committed to. What's unique about this year is that TCAM will be connected with Homecoming. We did this a few years ago with a lot of success. We are eager to do it again. I'm pleased to let you know if you're returning, we have more hotels in the area, so that shouldn't be an issue in finding lodging for the weekend. But it's also just a unique opportunity to see Martha and hear a little bit more about what she sees for Cornell as we think forward. It's crucial that you come back for this weekend because you get to see students and faculty and administrators in action. And it's during the academic year, so you feel the heartbeat of the place. And it's something that's really special. And so again, we have an alumni-based planning committee that works very closely with us to provide the type of engagement that we feel would be of benefit to you and that you have asked for. And so with that, we're excited about it. I'm going to go into some meetings because many of you have been asking about TCAM and some of those details. So with that, we'll move to the next slide. Okay, so TCAM is October 19th through 21st. It's Thursday through Saturday. And a lot of people will ask us why Thursday through Saturday? You know, why not Friday through Sunday? And the reason why it's Thursday through Saturday is because the trustees meet Wednesday through Saturday. And we wanted there to be overlap. And so we work at the direction of the Board of Trustees office. So we will begin Thursday morning. Many of you have asked whether there are ways to become involved in some of the working committees of the administrative board, and the answer is yes. At 10:30 in the morning, we will provide opportunities for you to register for a few working committees. You'll see that registration. It will go out the Wednesday after Labor Day, which is in early September. And then what will happen is that we'll then jump into a council lunch. What's really nice about this lunch is that we are trying to bookend this experience where you get to hear from university leaders about what's going on on campus and hear directly from them on some of the salient issues that affect the work that they do and how you can be of help. Then we're going to spend the afternoon involving you with classrooms and faculty office hours, so you get to actually see what is happening in the laboratories and classes and get to see Cornell in action. New members will have the opportunity to come together that afternoon, as you can see. And what we're really excited about, one of the business problems that we're trying to solve, is that we're trying to build authentic, meaningful student engagements in TCAM. We've done a good job of showcasing students in the past, but feedback from council members is that they want to meet more students. They want to understand better what's going on with students and how they can be helpful. And you're going to see us introduce some really, I think, fun and exciting and meaningful engagements at TCAM this year, in addition to Homecoming. And then we get to show off Duffield and the continued work that the College of Engineering is doing to create space that allows the faculty and students to do some pretty exciting things. So that's Thursday. Then we're going to jump to Friday, and you can see we'll have breakfast options, and then the big event for Friday has always been and will continue to be the State of the University address, where we'll be able to hear from Bob Harrison, the chair of the Board of Trustees, and then Martha will be able to offer some remarks. She then gets to own the session that we do after that. We're still in the planning stages of that, but I know it's going to be very good, and it's an opportunity to see what Martha values at this early stage in her tenure, and we're excited to see how that unfolds. Then you have an opportunity, as you can see this, to be with the college and unit deans. We'll have sessions in the afternoon. We're doing some really neat work with some of our interdisciplinary programs and how they work together in the spirit of radical collaborations that I think you'll find very interesting. And then we end with a big dinner and reception at Barton Hall. And that is always of a celebratory nature. And then we will literally walk from Barton Hall over to Shokoff so that we can be introduced informally, formally to Homecoming 2017. And there's a phenomenal fireworks display that will happen, and the entire stadium is filled with students and the people from the community. So I think that you'll see how we're trying to build a tradition in the fall that comes from student, young alum, and alum engagement, so that we can really celebrate, Cornell at various stages throughout the year. And on Saturday, we have a lot of homecoming information that will be, again, on our registration site, but you'll have the opportunity to see how Cornell is inspiring students to have a lifelong relationship with Cornell through Homecoming 2017. So with that, I think, Enrique, I get to acknowledge that I just took over all of your remarks. I got on a roll. So guys, Enrique and I have a lot of fun, and that was one of the comments that I wanted to share is that we really want you to have fun in this role. We have important work to do, and I got on a roll, and Enrique was supposed to go through each day, and I just kind of took it over. So Enrique, I'm so sorry.
That's perfectly fine. Don't worry, Laura. It's perfectly fine. But I mean, just to let everybody know, I mean, yeah, we do have a lot of fun. I think we have a great relationship going, and we're doing a terrific job. And I really want to thank Laura and her team for everything they do for us, because it certainly makes it much easier for us to serve our role as volunteers. And what we're trying to do now is obviously open it up for questions. I know that some people have been writing. Some people actually wrote some questions prior to our meeting, and we'll try and go through them now just to make sure that everybody understands and we have any questions answered. But one of the things that we wanted to know and do is that we're going to have this presentation sent out to all the council members. We have a pretty good group of people here today listening in, but we want to make sure that we can reach everybody. And one of the things that I wanted to do with Laura this year is that I wanted to open up some sort of like office hour type of thing and be able to provide people with my specific and personal email. And I really want to encourage, if anybody wants to talk offline after we're done with our call today, any questions that you might want to have, I'm free and excited to be able to talk to each and every one of you. So any questions that you might have as well, my email is right there. It's ejv2@cornell.edu. Laura's email is there as well. So we want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to ask questions, get information from us, so that we can help out and have you guys do, the best job possible as council members. So Laura, if you don't mind, I'm going to read some of these questions that we were sent out. I don't know if we have any other questions that were written as well during the conversation, but the first question actually said, I won't be able to attend the webinar. I'll be leaving out of the U.S. Any second opportunity, I do want to join council this year and be able to help out. Yes, as I told everybody, we'll be sending this stuff out to everyone and then offering what we call office hours via email. So we'll have everybody, if there's any questions, to contact us directly, and we'll set up a time to chat and answer your questions. Another alumni mentioned, I'm wondering whether a particular level of financial support is required for council members. Again, we want to make sure that you're able to contribute every year. That's the most important thing. But we want to make sure that it's to a level that you feel comfortable. So there's no specific level at what you need to contribute. How can we be active with council as soon as possible? I think we went through this as well. There's 4 major expectations that we discussed. I think it's very good if you're interested in learning about different committees that the admin board has, that you join in on Thursday at 10:30 and try to understand what each of the committees do. See if you can help out as an outside member of the admin board. And actually, that also serves its purpose in terms of letting us know who are the people that are interested in providing an additional level of service to Cornell. So I really encourage everybody to join in, listen into what we do on each of these different committees and see whether it's a right fit for you. Let me see. Okay, I have prior commitments. Same thing again. The recording will be available. Yeah, the presentation will be available. So we'll be able to have that out for everybody. Best day and time to arrive. Best day and time to depart. We'll be sharing obviously hotel information as soon as we have it available. But I would say, you need to enjoy the weekend properly. It's going to be jam-packed with activities. My recommendation is to make sure that you're there early Thursday morning so that you can be on the meetings in the morning. So if you're driving, you can probably maybe make it out Thursday morning. I have to fly in, so I come in Wednesday in the morning from Puerto Rico. So if you're able to come in Wednesday night and stay till Saturday or Sunday, I tell you that, you won't regret it. It's a great, great, great opportunity. I don't know. Did I miss any of them, Laura? I think you have them as well.
I think you've done a great job. I think I'll go into a little more detail. If there's some questions, feel free to ask. But the three committees that we seek membership from council members are the Ambassador Program, Development, and a new area of focus, and that's Student and Alumni Mentoring. So as you think a little bit about what you're interested in, feel free to approach Enrique or myself about what these committees entail. One thing that we've learned from Cornell, and we've asked them, is saying, how can council be most helpful to you? What are the areas where you need leadership and direction? And in some ways, early adopters. Because if, President Pollock is able to say council has entered this space in a meaningful, intentional way, it really then states and sets the bar for others. And so I think those three areas are of significant interest to the university, so we want to honor them. I will say that student and alumni mentoring is new space for us. We're very excited about that. We will be introducing a university-wide, we're calling it a knowledge sharing solution, where we have the opportunity to bring all students together with 250,000 alums through technology to facilitate individual and group conversations on a range of topics. And the university has asked council to play a leadership role in how we unveil this system. So that could be something of interest that would be deeply appreciated. So this is an important group, for Cornell. And, sometimes people will ask the question, what is the meaty role that I need to do, or how can I be helpful? And what I would say to you is, you come to this with a knowledge of what it means to be a volunteer and to be a proud alum. And what we want you to do is model that and encourage others to do the same. And we're going to give you the information. And so if you could, come to TCAM, read the emails that Joel sends out every month. We will be introducing a webinar series just for council members where administrators will be able to share just-in-time information about what they do within their area, and they'll give you a call to action so that you can go out and share those message points with them, and again, we learn from them. So that tends to be the most helpful way for us to make sure that Cornell's message is reaching all corners of the globe and that we're getting the feedback we need to help Cornell realize its potential. So I don't know if that's helpful, but I wanted to offer a little more clarity on what those roles were for those who want to get involved immediately.
Laura, we have a question here. It says, are spouses invited, included in TCAM? And yes, we highly encourage spouses to come for TCAM. I think it's a great weekend for everybody. So we do encourage that to happen. And then also, what commitment is required as an ambassador? Laura mentioned something, we need to make sure, we read our emails. We need to make sure that we can disseminate the information that we get in these emails and in these different activities like TCAM, et cetera. And then how does one find out about what, when, and where for these opportunities? Once TCAM registration comes out, and Laura mentioned that was after Labor Day, you'll see the whole gamma of events that are going to be happening, and some are going to be meetings, some are going to be committees, as we mentioned for the admin board. So you'll see the schedule, and the important thing is some you have to register for, others it's just for you to show up. and be able to go and meet the people there and introduce yourself. So it's really depending on how involved you want to become. That's really the important thing. I don't think it's a long commitment. I don't think it's a lot of time. I think it's very rewarding, both for the university and for each individual. So I do encourage you to, get as committed as possible and as engaged as possible with what we have to offer as council members.
Yeah, and Enrique, if I can just follow up, Neil, so you will be receiving communications from the Office of Volunteer Programs about, council unique webinars and other things. So just know that will happen throughout the year. We try really hard to have a communication schedule in place so that you get them on a consistent basis, but not too much so, because we realize how busy you are. The other thing that I would share is that as you're giving your updates, they can either be structured opportunities in the community, or they can be informal. So how you choose to disseminate the information is going to be based on your comfort level and the relationships that you have.
So Enrique and Laura, I have a question from Jan. Jan, I'm unmuting your phone, so you can go right ahead.
Okay, hi everybody. I have a question about the Rhodes Award, the Frank Rhodes Award. One of my friends is receiving one. One of my classmates is receiving one. Is that in conjunction with homecoming or in conjunction with TCAM? The presentation.
Hi, Jan. This is Laura.
Hi.
It's in conjunction with...
You pour beer very well, Laura.
I know. Thank you. So, yeah. I had the honor of serving beer at the Hopping Tent on Saturday night, and I was able to serve Jan a beer. And so thank you. It was a lot of fun. So FHTR dinner, if some of you may know this, but if not, we provide an award in honor of Frank Rhodes, and it goes to our most deserving volunteers. And they have demonstrated through time and talent their commitment to Cornell. And so this event features up to 6 individuals / couples, and it's always in conjunction with homecoming. And because homecoming and TCAM are combined this year, we're celebrating the FHTR dinner on Saturday night, Jan, not Friday night. So you don't have to decide, do I go see my friend at this dinner or do I go to fireworks? So it worked really well when we did it a couple of years ago. And it's just a really special event because Frank and Rosa attend, the president's there, and it's just a real honor for these individuals. Oh. Any other questions out there? Enrique, what do you think?
I think you did a great job, and my phone didn't die this year, so I'm very happy.
That's right. So I just want to thank everybody for taking time. Again, we're hopeful that this has helped you make good decisions about how you want to contribute to Cornell through your volunteer work. Council is important to Cornell. We're eager, selfishly, to see you involved, but we respect your decisions, however they play out. And please let us know what questions you have. If you have not yet made a decision and want more information, please reach out to us. If this has helped you make your decision, please go to the survey and let us know. And for those of you who are agreeing to participate with Council effective July 1, you will see information from my office very soon thereafter. And we look forward to working with you in this capacity. And Enrique, thank you so much for a great first year. We're honored to have Enrique serve as chair for the next year. And we're going to be doing some really important work for Cornell. And I just thank you for everything that you do. And I hope to see you at TCAM. Anything for you, Enrique, before we close out?
I'm good. I'm just excited. I'm done with my first year. I have it under my belt, and I think It'll be much smoother this second year. So I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to everybody joining and helping out, because I think it's a great opportunity for us to get more people engaged with Cornell, and I'm just excited about it. So thank you everybody for being here today. And again, any questions, you have my email. Please feel free to drop me an email, and we'll set up a time to talk.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.